Hello, everybody.
Hello! We are two as one, and I am Karin.
I'm Andres.
And we are here today to talk about how do you change your mindset so that you can manifest your dream life.
I want to start with this beautiful quote from Marianne Williamson: A return to love.
That's the book.
That's the name of the book. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frighten us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your plain smile does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our light shine, we unconsciously give the other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
So powerful. I
Wow.
love that quote so much. And today we're going to talk about 4 steps that will get you to that. Imagine that.
Just be like a child.
Yeah, right.
Right. The energy, the innocence, the love. They believe, they just believe.
Yeah. And all that belief gets squashed by who? By all of us adults and other children who have been brainwashed to squash all the bullying and all that silliness. So we as human beings love inadvertently to use the what if question, except we use it in the wrong way. We use it in a negative way. What if I get kidnapped? What if I lose my keys? What if I lose my job? And always staying in that fear mode. And that's that part of staying small, shrinking, when we think in that way. And people don't even think to flip that question. What if I get my dream job? What if I find my dream husband? What if I learn how to invest and buy real estate? I have nothing right now, but what if I found out that I could do that because people are out there doing it?
I didn't realize about that until we start to talk about this um, new episode and about this what if, and then even the classes courses that I took, it's always the people. What if this problem happens? What if it's many situations that the people start to talk, but it's always in the negative way, always expecting the worst of any situation. And I never thought that we can use that in the other way, in the opposite way, to manifest things
Yeah,
for us.
yeah,
That's
it's powerful.
brilliant.
And it's totally understandable because we're also designed to survive. So it's a survival question, right? And that is important. We need to survive, obviously, to make anything happen. However, we don't want to or need to stay in survival mode. Let's just go there when we need to go there. And let's hop out of the survival boat and jump over into the thriving boat, right? And so I highly recommend going over there. It's a much better place to be in. And so, how do we do that? What if you are more powerful, more abundant, more wealthy, more exceptional, and then you believe that you are because you are? You are just blocking yourself from going there. The thing that happens also is that we tend to predict the future based on the past. And what I always tell people is that you got here based on whatever it is that you did yesterday, 30 minutes ago, 10 years ago. And it didn't always just happen all at once, which means that any little change that you do now can change the trajectory of where you end up. So it's a lot of things.
It's a powerful thing.
It is.
Just flipping the words that came through your mouth. Because the mouth has power.
Oh,
Once you put it out there, be careful.
everything is a frequency, and we are energy. Everything, the words, your thoughts, everything is a frequency. I usually talk about how we're like radio frequency towers. We're sending out frequencies and we receive frequencies, and this is why you can feel people. Some people feel like, ooh, yeah, they've got some bad energy, and I don't really like being around them. And other people, you feel magnetized to. And why is that? It's because of what are they thinking? What are they feeling about themselves? So that's how we are magnets, and that some magnets you push away and some you attract. So what is it that you want to attract? It goes back to you have to become what it is that you want to have in your life.
I remember what you are looking for is looking for you as well, right?
Yes.
What you're seeking is seeking for you as well.
Yes.
And that's a true.
Yeah, we were a perfect example of that, aren't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. You want to share that?
Yeah. Well, sometimes it depends. I think it's an alignment of circumstances and facts that came to that moment. So in my case, I manifest my beautiful wife over here in 2 weeks because I never thought about it before. But when I start to think and the person that I want in my life, and I put all the things together that I want and this person, all the attributes, the gifts that I want in someone, and after 2 weeks, there she is.
It took me a lot longer. So, hey, don't beat yourself up, which is another big point of what is really important in order to make this happen. To not give up too soon. But that's the point. I'm jumping a little bit ahead right here. But let's circle back to that. So that's number one. Flip the what if from what if something bad is going to happen to what if I do meet this person that I want to spend the rest of my life with, who makes my life blissful and all of those things. That's possible because we're living it. Just putting that out there. Number two is inundate yourself with external messages that tell you about this, what you can do. So this was definitely something that I did. All of these things I have done, and this is what's got me to this life that I have created. I created this life. You created this life. You are creating your life. Everything that you have, that we all have in our life, we have created, whether we like it or not. If we like it, let's do more of what it is that you're doing. If you don't like it, you have to make some changes. So for me, I gotten some things that I wanted and some things that weren't working. And so I cut out some of the things that weren't working for me after many years of trying to get it to work, such as my first marriage, which, it just was not going anywhere. And so I had started my private practice because of my son, because I wanted to have more freedom over my schedule so that I could do whatever it was that I needed to do with if I wanted to go on a field trip with him with a school, I didn't want somebody to tell me whether or not I could do that. So and it was not easy. There were lots and lots and lots of very, very terrifying moments financially, and but I still made sure that I kept on my track. So some of the people that I listen to, and these are just suggestions, and that people that talk about how to implement these things, because it's all about mindset. Where are you putting your mind, what are you focusing on? And some of these people are lots of people out there, but Joe Dispenza, Bruce Lipton, Greg Braden, Marianne Williamson, that was a quote from that undress he started off reading. Simon Sinek, or Sinek, I don't know how you pronounce his last name, Abraham Hicks. Those were just a few examples of what I listened to. I inundated myself because we've all been programmed. We've all been programmed. That's just, again, our brains are little sponges when we are growing up. We have different levels of brain waves. It's from alpha, theta, delta, and I forgot all of them. But anyway, but delta is where we are in that kind of slightly hypnotic, meditative brainwave state where we are like sponges. And that's where children are in constantly, all the way until they're about 5 or 6 years. That's why they're so creative. That's why they believe in magic and all these things. And I just said believe in magic because magic is real. Right. But we're programmed to think that that's nonsense. Yeah. Which is another. So think about that. So I had to deprogram 40, 50 years of programming in me, and it took me a while. I was much slower than Andres here. It took me about a good 7 years to
I think I was at the bottom of my life. There was nothing else to go, so probably that's why God says, all right, let's do it something quick here.
You've suffered enough.
Right. It's important to pay attention. What are you feeding your mind with?
Yeah. Yes.
But what are you getting? What are you putting in there?
Oh, that is so powerful because every time I put on one of these people and I listened to it, I read it, I fed myself with it, I would start to get myself a little bit out of a dark place. And then I actually put to practice the things that they said. Meditate, visualize, feel it. And in the beginning, it was really hard to feel, meaning what it is that I want when I don't have it yet, and I may not have experienced it yet. So that's number 3. Write down your desired future, what it is that you want to have in your life, your career, your relationship, money-wise, all the things, and write it in present tense and add as many of your sensory into it. So an example would be I wake up in the morning in my dream house, roll over and see my amazing husband, and we smile at each other and give each other a wonderful good morning kiss, and then we roll out of our bed. It's a beautiful breeze because we have the windows open and the view of the ocean, the waves crashing onto the beach, so on and so forth. This is how you write out your perfect, you can just go write out one day. That's what I did many times. And then you read it as often as possible. And then you start to do anything that you can to start to really feel it. So it's easier for me to maybe think of the waves crashing in on the beach. It's like, okay, I've been to the beach. I remember what that's like, and really put myself in that space. And then maybe whether or not I've had a great experience with a partner, then think of it as an experience I had with anybody. It could be my best friend, and put yourself in that place because you've had that experience of having a great laugh with your bestie. And then you just in your mind switch out your bestie with your partner, your future partner. And this is how you begin to feel what it is that you want to have in the future and feel it as though you have it now. And it takes practice, which is why you have to do it over and again.
Is that how you manifest things in your life, right?
It is. You have to feel it because you're writing it down. That's the thought. That puts the message out in the universe. When you feel it is when you draw it into you.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Powerful.
Yes. So that's number 3. And number 4, this is important. because a lot of people, they give up too soon. Um, so it's kind of like this analogy. We were watching a video on somebody who was growing avocado trees from the seed, and we did different experiments. Some in water, some directly in the soil in a pot, and so on and so forth. And talking about how a lot of people, because they're not seeing anything happen in their timeline, they start to neglect the taking care of the seed. And then guess what? There might have been something happening underneath the soil. The roots are starting to grow, but you can't see it when it's in the soil. Or maybe you're not seeing the roots in the glass of water. So it's like, yeah, see, it's not working. And then it could have just been because this took months for that. Some took a couple months, some took
4 months,
4 months, 5
until
months.
you start to see something
Yeah,
going on.
he kept taking care of it, kept taking care of it, kept taking care of it. And that is the key here. Like as he manifested me in 2 weeks, it took me 7 years. Okay? So I did not give up. So keep finding and writing down evidence of things that are happening, even when it's not the end result. So let's say, for example,
I believe that was a miracle in my side because that was, I didn't know the knowledge.
yeah.
I was in a different, totally different pathway, and I can tell about that more like a miracle,
Oh,
compassion miracle.
that was the thing of what you were seeking is seeking you, because obviously for 7 years I was seeking you.
Right?
And then finally it's like, oh, you're ready. There he is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So for example, way before the 7 years there, was so let's say, for example, let's use the looking for your love. And maybe it's at that, because a lot of people, they're afraid to go out and date. Oh, you don't know these people, or this, that, and the other. Of course you're going to meet somebody that you don't know yet. And so maybe it's just the fact that you accept going on a date and meeting somebody. And even if you hate that person, that's a win that you went out and met somebody, right? So you have to take the steps. And again, it's the practicing what you want versus what you don't want. And in every situation. And that is how you get to anything. Maybe if it's a financial situation, you're up over your head in debt. A lot of people are in that situation, right? Maxed out credit cards, struggling to survive, and really wanting to just give up. I work with people like that just the other day. So, and okay, well, we can't just make that debt go. I don't have that power, unfortunately. So what can we do? We can work on things such as maybe call up the credit card companies and work on a plan. Maybe they can bring the interest rate down or cut it. I've done that. I got one credit card to just go down to 99.99% interest, and we made a payment plan. And over years, a payment plan with payments that I could do, and I eventually paid that one off. Some that you can negotiate, okay, well, let's take some of this off because a lot of the money is interest. Okay, and then you just, go from there. Another option would be, hey, sometimes bankruptcy is an option. And when I suggested that this, I don't want to keep sacrificing. I sacrifice so much. I was like, okay, well, we also have to be realistic. Those are your options. And that's why I talk about that there are always options. You might not always like the current options, but these options, you have choices. You can pick the one that may be the least painful. They are the stepping stones to get to where you need to be. Because when you do that, now you're not going to have the weight of all of those monthly expenses. They may be cut way down, and then you have the energy to go out and do whatever else you need to do.
Yeah, I think it's okay. Try to find some help.
Yeah.
Find professional help in order to deal with many situations that we have in life. And I was, as you've been mentioning, all those great authors and books and people. So you have your.
I do. Wow, what do you know? Aha. Yes, I wrote a book. I wrote a book because not everybody can come to therapy necessarily. And so this is like a step by step practice of kind of what I do when I work with my clients. And at the end of every chapter, there is something that you can work on, some questions, some writing exercises, and so that is something that you can get to, which is I think like somewhere around $20 on Amazon and Barnes and Noble. The link is in the description below, and so that is one thing that you can do.
Definitely.
Yes.
It's a beautiful work.
Yes. So I think that wraps up for today, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. So the 4 steps, they are flip the what if questions, because I know you got them. I know you got them. From what if bad situation to what if positive situation. What if you are more powerful than you think? What if you are able to attract wealth and love and lots of good things? Doesn't mean that you're not going to ever experience any hiccups and whatnot. Of course that happens, but let's practice looking for solutions rather than problems.
Yep.
2, inundate yourself with empowering information. People who talk about can do. It could be like some of the hardcore David Goggin and all that, right? That's like hardcore.
Tough guy.
Yeah, but there's some softer methods to go about it.
choose the best one for you.
Yes. Notice how you feel when you are listening to these things. You might initially have some resistance, like, oh yeah, that's some woo-woo and that's never going to happen for me. Pay attention to that little voice, that little negative voice that's playing in your head, and just notice it, and then go, well, what was I supposed to do? Oh yeah, I was supposed to do the what if and flip it. Okay, well, what if it works? And what if I practice this? What if I started to do these things and kept at it? Then something good could happen. Number 3 is write out your desired future in present tense and add as many physical sensations as possible in there. And 4, keep looking for evidence, even when they're little pieces of evidence. It's not your end results necessarily, probably not, especially in the beginning, but little evidences that you did something that is that future person. Because in order to be in this place where I have my private practice, I have a good income, never made this much money in my life, and met my amazing husband, this life here, I had to become somebody that I wasn't 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. I had to become this person in order to have this, to create this. So that's what you have to do. Think about that. This is the person that I want to be. So who do I have to become in order to build all of this? And then start to practice it a little at a time. You're not going to always succeed at it. You're going to fall off the wagon. You're going to revert back to old bad habits. It happens. But just remind yourself, oh, that's right. I am working on this new person. This new person is going to be me. She lives within me, and we are going to nurture her into fruition.
That's important to celebrate those small victories, acknowledge and celebrate, and use those small steps in order to move forward for your big goal.
And that's why I suggest writing it down, because when we think it, 1, we might forget to think about it. 2, when we write it down, now we have physical evidence. Oh yeah, that's right, because we are so good at forgetting these things. So writing it down, now you have it for posterity. And then every day, when you write them down every day, you're going to have pages and pages and pages of evidence that good things happen in your life.
So when you celebrate, you are being thankful with the universe, with God, for those small things that is happening in your life, and I believe that's the key, that's the secret. Be thankful, open the doors.
Absolutely.
of
Absolutely.
abundance.
Absolutely. Yeah. Without gratitude, you're not going to get anywhere. And this is also where happiness and joy comes from. And when you can learn how to be grateful for the little things, it's like a lot of people, they just take those things for granted and then they're not happy. I wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's it, folks. Let us know, what are the things that you have manifested? What are some of these tools that you tried? Maybe you tried them and gave up. Maybe it's time to pick it back up again. Um, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Keep fighting.
It's out there. We love you. And keep going out there and shining your beautiful inner light, because when you shine your light, you allow others to shine theirs.